Fuck it, let's just do this shit.
Yeah, let's get done. We gotta
Holy
talk to the people.
fuck.
People. Hey, you be nice to the people, over there. Today we're gonna be talking about cash is trash. All right. So welcome, me and Gino Nadarov here with Credit Leverage Jex. We got a lot of really cool stuff going on, guys. We got a new free course. Yeah, that's right. You heard free. How to get money from the banks. And we're building our team. We're still looking to hire a female and a male CSM to join the company. We got a new content guy, so he'll probably be watching this. Let's go. And we got lots of interesting things on how we can help you make more money. So I recommend your time should be invested with us because we're going to help you out. We're going to get you where you need to go. Today is one of Gino's favorite things to talk about, which is cash is trash. And, on the surface level, I don't know. In America, we're so emotionally attached to like the little peanuts that we get, right? That we're like, cash is not trash. Cash is my gold. It's like what I'd live for. But honestly, like, I don't know, man. I'll let you kick it off. But what do you think of when you think of cash is
Yeah.
trash?
So yeah, man. I mean, it's a problem. It's a problem that it's a problem of whether you don't have cash, and then you need cash, or when you have cash, you need to get rid of the cash. So
Yeah.
it's a problem both ways. So I think the main thing is, you need to make the money, right? The cash is still needed to create what you need to do, but to create those cash flowing assets and be able to leverage other things to make money. But essentially, you working to make money is a waste of your time. So because the reason I say that is because when you work, you're working, you're spending your time. The most valuable thing you have in life is time. And you only have this much time. You can make a shit ton of money, in shorter period of time. If you know how to create the right systems and the right businesses, and you have the right,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you know, um, like basically operations, the functions in place that are creating those business flows for you, whether it's passive or active income. If you're working a 9 to 5 job, your time is being exchanged for cash, and but you're spending your time there. So all that time that's being spent is that they're giving you a certain amount of money for your time. Now, if you were to able to, get access to the money and not have to work for the money, then you realize that cash isn't really worth anything. If you think about it, so cash
Yeah.
is trash because it's only a tool. Cash is literally just a tool. It's a tool for the employers to employ you. It's a tool for the employers to invest in their money and create assets and business opportunities for themselves. But you need to start acting like the employer rather than employee. So when you start looking at yourself as an employer, you start to realize how to use cash as a tool versus how to work to make money for a living. So you start to look at cash not just as a means to an end. You look at it as a means to a escape the rat race, right? So now you do make a lot of money if you have a really good skill set. You can make a lot of money, but that money isn't useful. Just keeping it in the bank doesn't do anything for you. So if you can make a lot of money, you need to learn how to use that money wisely. But first, we want to teach you how to make the money, right? And how to get to the money, right? If you're not going to work or have a high paying skill, or if you didn't learn a high paying skill in school or college, or through any kind of workshops in your life that you've done and learned that skill set, if you haven't done that already, then you need to find ways to get access to the money, and then that way you don't have to waste your time to make money.
Right. And I mean, what I think of when when it's like cash is trash, is basically like it's a made up thing, right? So I just wanted to show this little stupid thing, but it's like apparently 5,000 years ago in Mesopotamia is when people created the first shekel. It doesn't, I mean, shekel almost sounds like shackle, right? So 5,000 years we've been glorifying these fancy notes, right? And then at least back in the day, gold money was like made of gold and silver. and had like some weight to it. Like even when I was in Europe, I kind of liked having, you know, a dollar was a coin, right? In America, a dollar is a piece of paper and it's trash. But in America, it's been since 1775 and no one knows who first started it, right? But the whole idea that I think of whenever I'm talking about cash is trash is like, if you have a lot of money, it's only as useful as what you're going to buy with it, right? It's like if you can use that money and you buy a house, now you have something real in the real world, right? If I'm starving on an island, I don't want a fucking pile of cash, right? I want food and water and shelter. You know what I'm saying? So those are real world things. This whole illusion of money. I think that's a better way instead of a cash is trash. It's like cash is an illusion, and the government and the whole system that has been set up, they're just printing this stuff. It's not even printed anymore. It's just like a number in a computer somewhere. And our whole lives, money has basically trapped us and made us a slave to the system and to the currency. And what we need to do is, yes, like just with everything with the banking system and that we do too, you know, it's like we got to play their game, right, to get access to the money. But then once we get the money, we got to use that money wisely so that we can play our game, so that we can get our time back, so that we can get freedom, so we can own real world things in the real world other than just money. So like when I think cash is trash, I think you should be figuring out how to get access to as much of it as possible, but then use that money to make a real system. That's what a business is. A business is just a system that makes more money so that you can have your time back. And money is also just like a tool so that you can buy real world stuff, so you can take care of your parents, so you can buy real land and real assets. Like a lot of people, they just need like a cardboard box in a corner somewhere and they'd be happy, but the Uncle Sam is even going to tax you for just doing that. But what you need is you need to figure out how to get access to this money so that you can create a system that produces more money, so you don't have to waste your time anymore on working for money, if that makes sense. I mean, that's kind of what I think of when it happens. You know?
Right. I mean, you're absolutely right. You hit on a word that I love, which is an illusion, right? So the illusion,
it's the illusion of money.
The illusion of money, and the illusion is that we have all been indoctrinated into the idea that we have to work to make money. Right. This is an indoctrination. This is a process of indoctrination where you go to school, get a job for a specific, let's say engineering, doctors, lawyers, whatever you're as, military, right? Police officers, whatever, firefighters, whatever your actual, job title is, you are now classified as a worker in that field. You're supposed to be an expert in that field. That's your field of expertise. And by you're able to do the work in that field in order to make the money to be able to create, your livelihood, to be able to go afford food, get housing, have a car, pay for your college kids, take care of your wife, your family, your parents, like you said. This is all important things. But what does it mean? It means that you take money and you exchange it for value, right? For value, things that you need, necessities. Those necessities of having a roof over your head, having food on the table are, they're necessary. But in order to have that, that's tied into your job, because you need to be able to make money. And money, cash is something that we feel like, there's no other way to make it other than to go and work, right? That's the way we've been taught, we've been educated in that way. But financial literacy has been, misinformed in when they teach accounting or e-commerce, because I've taken e-commerce in the current, 5, 10, 15 years ago. E-commerce, the way they explain money is has a time value. Like the money now is worth more than money later, actually. Later actually worth less because, inflation, etc. And interest now, if you're going to pay interest now, you're going to pay less interest now than you're going to pay later. Interest rates are not going to go down. So they're going to keep going down because of inflation and everything else, unless they change the system, which is what they're trying to do. Or at least control it in a sense, and be able to know what transactions are happening. And by doing so, they're creating a barrier where they can control where the money is going. They have to be able to control where money is going. So for us, our job as entrepreneurs and people that are not into working for someone else, that want to be able to create our own business, our own livelihood, want to be able to take control of our own futures and be able to bring food to the table without having to leverage our time to make money and spend our time or learning a specific skill in order to do that work. You need to learn either how to make create a really cash flowing business that's creating continuous flow, which multiplies your money. That's what like a business does. It basically takes money that you spend for things that you buy in order to create some kind of value, and then that value is either sold and returned for some for more money, right? Or you have to be able to access the money, right? So that's the way I see it. And the thing is, money has never been a necessity until the point that you need it. And then once you need it, as long as you have it, you never thought about, I have this much money. I have a limited amount of money, and I can only make this much money because of this is how much money I've made, and this is what my job is paying me. But the reason it's an illusion is because when you go out and get you go out to the bank and you try to buy a house, when you put a down payment on that house, you're not putting $500,000 on that house. You're putting a down payment, a portion, a basically a equity that the bank requires them to own. They want an equity into the property in order for you to get a loan, so that way the property can be purchased. So that they require a certain amount of equity. So it comes back to equity. So when you start looking at cash versus an actual physical thing versus an actual time exchange for money, and you look at it as an equity and how to get access to the equity that the banks are thinking of, you start to realize that the system is rigged. And the system is rigged in those that understand financial literacy. If you have no financial literacy, you're not playing the game right. You're basically you're playing the game without having the tools. So if you don't have the tools, you're never going to succeed. If they tell you go build this house and they don't give you any nails, how are you going to build the house? You have the tools, you have all these equipment, but you have no nails. You can't put the thing together. So it's like the same thing with money. You need to be able to put the money together for you in a way where it makes you more money. Right. So that's what you need to do. You need to, whatever money you made, or if you don't have any money, then you need to go access the money. And that's what, financial literacy, and that's what we do at Credit Leverage X, is that we create financial literacy about yourself. And that way you become a money-making machine, and you don't need to depend on, a job or other things that would necessarily require you to make money. So that's what Robert is kind of tapping on, is you're saying this is the fact that money is an illusion. It's been brought out to the public and been indoctrinated as a way to not have abundance of it. But there's a lot of money to be made, and it's everywhere. Yeah, and that's what I think the illusion is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you I've got a lot I want to add, but it's like, imagine human beings or whatever. We used to have a tribe, right? And then the alpha was the alpha, and everybody else kind of followed, and they played their parts. And that's how we kind of made our hierarchy and stuff. And then that went away. Now there's no alphas. I mean, there are, but now we have a new way of basically determining whether or not you're a leader or whether or not you're quote unquote, that the leader of the tribe or whatever. Stupid credit. But I also want to change what I said earlier. I said that the goal is to get access to money so that you can create a system that makes more money. I want to add something to that. I wanted to say as fast as humanly possible, because think about it. There's this whole chapter of your life, right? There's only so many minutes in your life, so many seconds, so many hours, and how much of that is work that you hate? If you broke your life up into certain chunks, right? A large chunk of it is just going to be you doing a shitload of work that is just shoveling shit and living in the dirt and doing everything that you hate, right? So the real goal for this whole thing is to get access to money, make that money work for you so that you can have your life back, so you can do what you want. Maybe what you want to do also makes money, but for most people, most Americans, I would just say most people in the world, the work that they do isn't very fulfilling. It's like flipping burgers, or it's accounting, or it's making something for somebody else's dreams, right? You're not really working on your own dreams. So the real goal that I really wanted to nail down is cash is complete trash, but you want to get a little bit of trash money and turn it into a system that can free you from the rat race, free you from the matrix, like whatever the word you want to do, but free you so that you can have time to think and have time to become a philosopher or whatever you really want to do. Like life isn't necessarily about pleasure either, but you don't want to basically spend your entire life, and regret your life because you didn't do the things that were important to you. And not having enough money can be a big hindrance to that as well. So that's why we get so emotional. It's like, oh, if I only had the money to do this or that. Well, cash is trash. You have to figure out what's value can you actually add to the marketplace, like Gino was talking about. What value is worth more than the trash that they're basically printing? And then you need to figure out how to create a system to make more of that and own real world things that are also going to pay you back and pay you more so that you can move on with your life. So
yep,
that's what I wanted to add.
It's a very powerful thing, when you think about how money works and how, it's a beautiful thing. If I would have been like one of those, the Constitution science signatures and saying, hey, I would love to put this into play because this is how because the people, unfortunately, the reason, it's like they say that the people enslave themselves. You heard that term before?
Yeah, sounds right.
The reason this is the reason it's mind-boggling to me because I'm a human being alive in this time. I'm not going to be alive forever. None of us are going to be alive forever. But the point is, us being alive in this time and realizing what humans have created for themselves in order to indoctrinate themselves into a system that because they cannot do the right thing on a day-to-day basis and they have to be controlled. And that's where it comes down to. We've created a system to control ourselves in order to maintain civilization. So as a big system, it is. The people that created the money are the smartest people here because they had to create that system in order to allow people to do good works. Because if people were able to get access to money and didn't work, then we wouldn't have firefighters, police officers, and all this stuff. So there is a need for this. And I understand that there is a need to have to work to make money, especially if you want to serve your fellow human, right? Your fellow person. You want to be of service. Being of service is the biggest thing you can do as a human being in the world. I believe that wholeheartedly, regardless of whether you make money or you access money or not. But what I'm saying is, you don't need to enslave yourself in the job. Like you need to do what you love. Like you need to at least do what you love. So and by being able to do what you love and be able to have money coming in and other sources of income rather than just your job, then that stress of doing what you love not paying you enough is no longer there, right? So the problem is money. So we need to fix. There's a problem in the world, or in the United States at least, and that's money. Money is a problem. So in order to fix the problem as a money factor, we need to be able to access and penetrate how to get access or how to get more money and how to get the money to work for you. And that way you're not constantly working for your money and depending on your job or your whatever job you're doing as a means to be able to get things like food, shelter, and etc. That's a different kind of mindset. That's why I think the whole world, in the United States specifically, we're changing the reality of the fact that we are now, we need to bring in people that have creative mindsets. They need to actually bring value. Someone that's just, doing a job that doesn't bring any value to civilization, that doesn't bring any value unless that job is for a specific agenda or things that are being pushed towards, whatever it is. If we're going to go to war, then we are all, you'll see a bunch of people they're going to be a push for engineers. They need engineers, they need rocket sciences, they need they need military. Hey, join the military, join the army. This is all and that's how they're able to kind of move and stretch and push specific movements towards what the whole goal of every country and every world is. And then that's how societies are built. But they have to have some form of control over the people, and that's what humans have done to themselves. And I'm talking about people that have created the whole system as a whole. They've created the system in order to control ourselves because we are. Let's be honest, humans are lazy. Humans don't want to do shit. They don't want to work. They don't want to do anything. Like, honestly, most humans, and even if they don't have a job, or even if they have a job, they don't even work as much as they should. And on top of that, they probably don't even make as much money as they actually could. Because if you really put the work in, you know, me and you, Robert, if you really work hard, you can make a shit ton of money. There's nothing stopping you. I don't care what you do. You know, if you're working a 9-to-5 job, you can go get another job. Go get another job. Go get another job. Like, you can do multiple things. You don't have to do one thing and tell me that you don't have enough money. Okay, I don't care what you say. If you have no income, that's on you. That's your fault. And don't come to me telling me that, hey, I don't have money. I want to, you know, what can I do? Well, I can help you get access to the money, but what are you going to do with it? Like, are you gonna?
Right.
Are you the kind of person that's gonna put the work in to actually change your life, or is it just gonna be a bunch of money you get and then throw it away, and then you're gonna be back in the same cycle again? So the problem is not the money; it's the people. That's why the people have to change. So we have to change as a society, and I think that's what the United States government is trying to do. Is they're trying to create value, and people that actually have value, that are bringing it to the public. These are the people that are going to succeed and have succeeded. As we know, the people that actually brought value to the public, to the people, have succeeded, and they are the ones that are going to get those promotions, and they're the ones that are going to become the presidents of this country and so on, or their fellow family and whatever. So at the end of the day, it's the people. They need to change, and money is only one part of the problem. But you have to understand that you cannot make excuses for not being able to make money. So work hard and do what you love, and find other ways of making money. And that way you're not tied to a single income source, and then you're broke and you can't afford to make money. And then the banks aren't going to give you money. No lender is going to give you money to buy a house. And if you're not making money initially, you're not going to get access to the money. Like, there's nobody going to do that for you. So you have to start with the idea that money is an illusion in a sense, but you have to also understand that there is actual work that is tied to money. That's why we're having to be controlled by it.
Yeah. Well, that was like a couple things. Yeah. You said it, you nailed it. It's like the way that they control society, though. Like, the way I picture it is, it's like just some big hand on society, and whenever they want to make you do stuff, they squeeze, right? And what does that mean? They're going to make your food price go up. They're going to make your rent price go up. They're going to make transportation go up. And then they're going to steer you towards, hey, maybe there's going to be a war now, so you don't have any money. What are you going to do? Join the military, right? Mm-hmm. Or go back to college, and so you become useful to society. I mean, I don't know if that's going to happen.
That's absolutely right. That's the squeezing mechanism that they have. They've created
the big squeeze. You know what I mean?
And the reason they did that is because people have put this upon themselves. Humans have made it where we have allowed other leaders to make decisions for us, because we no longer are able to make these decisions for ourselves, because we are not self-sufficient. We cannot sustain ourselves. So we have to depend on the government to feed us and give us food stamps and give us housing and all this stuff. And this is not, if the moment you give up your ability to make money, or your ability to do things for yourself, is the moment you lose your rights, right? And the thing is, why do we even have rights in the first place? Well, those rights were created by us in order to allow us to be able to live in a civilized institution. But since we cannot govern ourselves, we have government, and that's what it comes down to. And the people, there's no one else to blame, okay? No one else to blame but ourselves. And our ancestors have proven to the world, and the government is now existing because of our ancestors, because we could not govern ourselves. And now we have a problem, okay? And now the problem is whoever is governing us is able to control us in the way that we've allowed them to. We've allowed,
and then they're able to get bribed because they're fucking susceptible to money. You know what I mean?
Let's just call them the politicians, right? The politicians of the world, the politicians of the nation. The politicians have now gained exponential power over the people, and they're able to move and dip and change and create policies that are basically being pushed upon the people, and the people have to agree. Okay, and then the moment that happens is the moment that it becomes like a totalitarian. It's no longer government. It's no longer for the people. But the point is, I'm not here to talk
Yeah.
about government. I'm here to talk about how to get access to the money, and that way you can become free from that squeeze, right?
Yeah.
And that squeeze is really what everybody's feeling. The high gas prices. Who gets hurt? The people, the day-to-day people, the 9 to 5
Right. The
people,
middle class and the
and
lower
middle
class and
class,
the
low class people that don't have money, that are trying to survive. Those people are the ones, when they raise gas prices, when they raise egg prices by 26%, when they raise, Patrick B. David was spitting out all this fire. He was saying they're raising gas prices, they're raising eggs. You go to the you go buy milk now, it's 12% more. Like, everything is going up, and the prices are no longer coming down. And what's
Mhm.
happening is, and that squeezed, people are really feeling it. And now it's like, oh, we gotta, we need to, if something happens, we have to, ask
Go.
help. Hey, government, please help us, because we need this. Like, we need this, because
Right.
we cannot help ourselves. So learn, don't be that person, right? Be
Wake
the
up is what I'm saying. Wake
Wake
the
up.
fuck up.
Yeah, wake up. Don't be that person. Be the person that's going to say, I'm going to take responsibility for myself and my family. And, if everybody else wants to do that and get squeezed, let them be squeezed. Because you know what? Not everybody is going to join our program. But the
Right.
ones that join our program, that actually want to be enlightened and wake up and start making, make movements towards that direction, where they can become self-sufficient and not depend on the government, on their jobs, on anyone else to bring a dollar to the house or bring a dollar to their pocket. Those are the individuals that are taking action now, that are in our program, that are joining our program every day. Those people are taking the actions necessary to start changing their lives, and that means getting access to the money that they never had, and realizing that the system is made for you, as long as you're able to use the system correctly. Now, the best thing we did was, honestly, is provide this opportunity for people. If money wasn't going to be backed by gold, the best thing that happened is that we have credit. Like, honestly, like, if we had no credit, there is no escape. We're all tied to a job. There's no other way to make money. There's no way to access money. That means you won't be able to buy a house unless you have $500,000. And it takes, how long is it going to take anyone to buy the house cash? Imagine. Good thing there's
Right.
lenders. Good thing there's loans. Good thing there is an idea of a loan, right?
Yeah.
Because the banks need us to make money off interest. Like, if the banks didn't have interest, they wouldn't give us money, but they make more money, right? So they leverage $1 million, and they give out $1 billion, right? So
Right.
you give them $1 million, they'll give out $1 billion. They'll give out 10 times or 100 times fold of that, of every dollar that's fractionalized. So realize that that's what's happening. So now become your own self-sufficient bank and leverage the money that you have currently, and start using that same system that's been put in place for the banks to leverage. Use it for yourself. Become the bank. Become the person that's self-sufficient. Start you leveraging assets to make money without having to
Yeah.
work for it. That's where this is coming down to. Is basically, Credit Leverage X, we're here to bring the power back to the people, essentially, and use the money that's available for you individually. Like, individually, I only want to affect one person at a time. I'm not here to change the world. If those people that are interested to change their lives are in our program, are daily realizing the system that they're living in, and then becoming financial literate, and at the same time taking action and making their lives better.
Yeah. So wake up, reach. You got to get a little scrappy, I would even say, to really break out of the rat race, break away from the big squeeze that the government and the world is really trying to put on people. And you got to, like, rise to the occasion, right? A lot of these people, one of my marketing mentors, he said, most of your clients are gelatinous mush that's bolted to the couch. Can't be that person. That's like, if you want to get someone to take action, you got to be the one that makes yourself take action and then take more action, because most people don't understand how much work it truly takes to get to that next level. It's like a rocket ship. You got to find the pieces first. You got to put it together, and you got to shoot yourself out of the atmosphere. And then once you actually are out of the fucking hard work, life is a lot easier. So it's worth it. It's either struggle now and get where you need to go, or struggle when you're old and you can't take care of yourself and no one's going to take care of you. You know what I mean? It's really serious.
And you're going to depend on the government to take care of you. And then, what are the government going to do? They'll send you to a housing facility that's, you're probably going to hate, and and then you're going to live your end of days wishing that you change, you made the right action and regretting, right? You don't want to be in a state of regret. So
Right.
the time is now. Robert, we've said this before. You need if nobody's going to make that action for you, you have to take that upon yourself. So,
Yeah.
if you care about yourself and your family, take the action necessary now. Don't wait for someone else. And for sure, the government is not going to want you to take action in that way. They're going to want you to work. They're going to want you to stay employed and keep yourself in the same place where you've been the last 5, 10, 15 years ago. So now, if you still need to keep a job, keep it, but at least start taking action. Take the first step towards becoming financially free, and that means learning, becoming financial literate, and accessing money that you didn't have.
Yep. And then become an owner and an investor instead of an employee. That's kind of the big thing.
Become the investor, become the owner, become the bank. Let's go.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up. Take care, everybody. Don't forget, underneath this video, wherever you're watching or listening, there's going to be some good links to the free course. Check out creditleveragex.com. Be sure to send me and Gino a message if you need anything. All right, talk to you in the next one. Bye. Cool.